we understood 2012 was the most difficult time for you. You three were distracted and deviated as entrepreneurs. Yeah. So for me, it's important, and for everyone, it's so important to know what was that defining moment, what was that turning point, what were those decisions. And I think I will move to Rajiv and ask, what was that turning point then?
So back in 2012, when like Pranav mentioned, we did those international speakers seminars with Bob Urichak, Ron Kaufman. We did it along with two partner companies, Right Selection from Dubai and Scion Masterminds here from Bangalore. And both Gautam Ganglani, the founder of Right Selection, and Meena Srinivasan, the founder of Scion Masterminds, were good friends. And they were aware of our situation. They knew what was happening in our life. The turning point happened.
Wait, I want to stop you there, okay? And I think most of you will agree with me. It takes in this kind of vulnerability. I don't think, and entrepreneurs, you know this, sometimes you're going through so much of it within, but you don't say. And this is something what I've noticed so far. You didn't lie at any given point of time. You were openly telling that yes, it's a bad phase, like you said. So you were, I at least want to bow down for this amazing vulnerability, because it really takes courage, and a lot of people don't say this.
I would say during that phase, was there a sense of shame associated to losing money? Yes, there was.
Yeah.
I think today we are in a position to look back and give that strength to people who are in the same situation, saying, hey, this too shall pass. I think the need for vulnerability comes from there for us. Yeah, so that's why you see this vulnerability.
And I think that's the main intention today. Can you just say that in your words? It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, good times are bad times. Neither are permanent, right?
Yeah.
That's what you figure out after going through all of these things in your journey.
Yeah. So you were telling me Meena knew about this?
Yeah.
And then?
Yeah, so it was September 2014, and Success Gyan, which is India's largest seminar organizing company, they were conducting for the first time ever a National Achievers Conference event in Bangalore. And National Achievers Conference is an event that has been around for more than 2 decades. And typically what happens is you have people like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Tony Robbins, ex-British Prime Minister Tony Blair, Bill Clinton, okay, Richard Branson. Those kind of people speak at the National Achievers Conference platform. And the first National Achievers Conference ever, which was happening in India, was in Bangalore in September 2014, where Robert Kiyosaki, the legendary author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, was speaking. And that was conducted by Success Gyan. Gautam flew down from Dubai. Gautam is based out of Dubai. He flew down from Dubai to attend this event. Meena, of course, was there at this event as well. And this event had like a VIP seating, which was like 50,000 rupees. And then I think a gold seating, which was some 15,000. And the last was the silver seating right at the back, which was 2,000 rupees. And back then, I knew Suren, the founder of Success Gyan. We'd met him briefly in 2012 for the first time. I knew he was organizing this event. He invited us saying that come. But because we did not have money, we could not even afford a 2,000 rupees silver ticket at the back of the room. So obviously can't say that. So we gave some reason to Gautam, Meena and Suren saying, we can't come. I have another event that day, I can't come. But because Gautam was your friend, wanted to take him out for dinner, so Bhakti and I went towards the end of the event to pick him up. And the event was still going on, and I remember peeping from the door and Robert Kiyosaki was speaking on stage. And I was like, someday I want to attend this event. That was the goal, that someday I want to be a part of the participants in National Achievers Conference. The event got over, Bhakti, me and...
Wait, you said participant?
Yeah.
You didn't even think of being right? Okay.
No. So, Bhakti, me and Gautam went out for dinner. We had our conversations. But Gautam was staying at Meena's place. We went to Meena's house to drop him over. And Meena was like, Rajiv, I would recommend you meeting this one person and doing her program. Her name is Sidra Jaffrey. And I'm like, who is she? She's like, she's a psychic healer. She's extremely powerful. She's doing a 5-day event called the Soul Spa. It's starting on Wednesday. Make sure you do it. I know you've been in this difficult situation, but she works on the level of energies. And I know things will change for you. And I was like, how much is it? She's like, the 5-day event will cost you 1 lakh rupees. I'm like, what's wrong with you? I don't have the money. I can't do it. But something stuck. And then the next day, Meena followed up and she called Bhakti for a tea meeting. She said, there are a bunch of women. They're meeting with Sidra in one of her friend's house. She insisted that Bhakti comes. And Bhakti and I were reluctant. We didn't want Bhakti to go because we thought, yeah, we'll go there, then it'll become obligatory to buy the course. We don't want to do it, we don't have the money. But Bhakti went. And Sidra and Bhakti had a conversation in the balcony. And the kind of insights Sidra gave Bhakti, she just looked at her and she said, you're going through a financial crisis. And she described everything. Initially, the kind of things she described, it sounded like mind reading. So there was no belief. But then she said things that even we were not aware of. Like I had to come back and ask my mom, has this happened in our family? Has that happened in our family? And my mom was like shocked. How do you know about it? Because Sidra's work was all about karmic connections. She said that everything you go through in your life, there's a karmic connection to either your present life, your past life, or your ancestral life. And these were things that I did not know, Bhakti did not know. So no way this could be mind reading. And while we were like, wow, this woman's powerful, we need to explore this. So Bhakti and I landed up on that Wednesday, borrowing some money. I called Suren. I said, Suren, I want to be honest with you. I didn't come to National Achievers Conference not because I was busy. I don't have the money. And I want to attend Sidra's event. I don't have the money. And can I give you this money in parts? And the first thing Suren said to me really touched my heart. I had met him once before that. He looked at me and said, who asked you for money for National Achievers Conference? Why didn't you come? What's wrong with you? And he said, just shut up and come to Sidra's event.
Wow.
So I've just been blessed to get all these people in our lives who kind of played such a crucial role in connecting the dots. And Sidra, of course, going to Soul Spa, it was a complete.
Is that the
that's
picture?
Sidra.
I think that's something that Pranav just told a few minutes ago, saying just that one hope.
Yeah.
And now you could see this end of the tunnel and the light.
I mean, this woman just transformed
Wow.
all our lives. We realized working with her that it's about working on yourself. It's about healing those layers. It's about shifting those thoughts. It's about going to the level of the energy and unlocking those energies. And that just set us on a path. I realized after all that desperation and distraction from 2012 to 2014, I realized if something has to change, it has to be me. The problem is us. The problem is not the circumstance, not our luck, not our fate, not our karma. It's us. And unless we don't change, and the only way to change is to learn, to surrender to that learning. So we started attending training programs. We started attending different trainings. Like I went on and attended Millionaire Mind Intensive with
Again,
Team Havekar.
you didn't have money for this.
Yeah, we started investing in trainings. November 2014, the first Millionaire Mind Intensive happened in Bangalore. We attended that program. Success Gyan was conducting all these programs with international trainers. So we were students in all Success Gyan programs. I remember I used to run and go to the first bench to be able to get more energy from the trainer. So I was a first bench participant myself. And I was very thankful to Suren and Praveen during this phase because while they were creating this platform for learning for entrepreneurs, I knew the value of that platform because as an entrepreneur, I was being impacted. I needed such a platform. Blair Singer happened in 2015, attended his Train the Trainer program. All of this started happening and, you know, everything started hitting you. Because when you are in your deepest challenges, it feels like every trainer, everything you're watching is like a message to you, for you. So we surrendered to that process of learning. And another thought process came about by attending all these trainings is that, hey, while we're going through these trainings to enhance our skills, enhance our capabilities, we also need to crack the code of business. We need to figure out what does it take to set goals and achieve goals. We need to figure out how to scale up a business. So we came up with an idea in October 2014. We designed a book cover, and the only thing we had designed was the book cover. And we put the book cover on Facebook saying, I am authoring this book titled Lead or Bleed, where we will talk about what it takes to stop firefighting as an entrepreneur and start generating profits as an entrepreneur. And I didn't have the content for the book.
Wow.
So I said, you know what, the content has to be real. It has to be something that works in the real world. So from October 2014 to January 2015, we went on a research journey where I was interviewing entrepreneurs from across the country, asking them two questions. What is the system required to set, track and achieve goals in the business? And what is the strategy required to build a scalable, profitable business?
Okay.
So I went on and interviewed people that I would see on television or read about in news, like legends like Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, Ashok Soota. Went and interviewed these people, and most of those interviews used to be scheduled for 20 minutes, but they would go on for 90 minutes,
Wow.
2 hours, 3 hours. My one interview went on for 9 hours, where it was literally me sitting there and just asking questions. Somewhere I forgot it was for the book. It was like, I want to know how did you do this when you started. Because we all read these stories of success,
Yeah.
but we don't understand the challenges and the vulnerabilities in the beginning. So those 300 interviews was a life-changing experience.
Wow.
And I very clearly remember that he had to travel to different parts of the country to do these interviews with people, and we didn't have the money for those flight tickets.
Ooh.
So we fell upon this opportunity where we could register Rajiv as a mystery auditor with Indigo Airlines. Not many people know this. So when you register yourself as a mystery auditor with an Indigo Airlines gives you a free ticket to travel on their planes.
Ooh.
And in result or in return for that, Rajiv was supposed to audit the entire check-in process, the boarding process, the cabin crew, the attendants in the flight, the toilets in the flight. So he had to give a report of everything that was there with respect to Indigo Airlines and submit that report to them. So he was like a mystery auditor. And by us registering for this scheme, we got free tickets. And that saved us a lot of money. That saved us a lot of money of us traveling to different parts. And this was also the time when we borrowed close to about 40 lakhs.
Okay, please tell me the figures. Add everything and then, okay, so you had 25 lakhs and then that 75 lakhs. So please add that.
So all this was losses,
Huh.
and then we had debts. This was one additional debt to the debt that we already had.
So we had a 45 lakh debt and we took a 40 lakh loan.
Yeah. So I mean, this loan was from banks, from people that we knew. I mean, anybody and everybody who could lend us money. So we were like, okay, give it all. So we borrowed 40 lakhs, and the purpose that we borrowed this 40 lakhs is so that we could invest in our learning. Right. So all the trainings that Rajiv was talking about,
Yeah.
of course, all of them were very expensive trainings. Some of them were outside of India. Some of them were in India. All of them were expensive. We didn't have the money for it. We didn't want to waste the opportunity. So we borrowed that money and used all of this money and invested into learning when we were in a 45 lakh debt already. So these things were our defining decisions. So when people
Yeah.
say, what's your turning point? I think these decisions were the ones that actually changed the course for us.
Because I truly think it takes courage to borrow money and that to invest that money in learning when you're already in a debt. Karan, what do you have to say on that?
So if I had to be honest, we didn't have the courage in the beginning. I wouldn't try to be a
Right,
hero
yeah,
saying that courage
yeah.
just came. I mean, we were scared.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about it. I still remember that day. It was 24th October 2014. Rajiv and me were attending an event organized by Success Gyan at the Ritz-Carlton in Bangalore. And we were offered a coaching program, very expensive. And Rajiv and me were arguing in the car on the way back. Should we do it? Should we not? And in my head, I'm like, how can you even think about doing it? It's so expensive. Where do we get the money from? And we both are arguing about why he thinks we should do it. I agree we should do it, but we don't have the money. And then I go home and I prepare Pranav. I'm like, something's up with this fellow. We need to get a reality check. We're already in so much of a debt. I think he's going to bring this up. We need to be prepared. And then I get a message on our partners group from Rajiv saying that, boys, let's meet at Barista at 10 p.m. This was a Barista near my place. And I knew there was tension in the air. Yeah, because I remember talking to Payal, my wife, saying that there is a lot of tension. And I think for the first time, we tested our partnership. Today people talk about who we are. I think that was a very defining moment because it told us what kind of trust we have in each other. And that moment tested it. In my head, I was scared. I'll be very honest.
Yeah.
I'm like, how can we do this?
Yeah.
And Rajiv was being very stuck about it. When we were arguing in Barista, whether he was giving reasons after reasons as to why we should do it. But at the end of the day, when we sorted this out, for us, it was very clear. Either we ride together or we die together. I'm so happy we took that decision because more than anything else, for me, our partnership, the testimony of that came out on that day.
Yeah.
We ride together or we die together. That's it.
So I think out of all the testing phases, that has been truly the moment that I see because that could easily,
It was a turning point for us
yeah,
together.
Yeah, us together,
Yeah.
But then I want to ask this, okay, what was going through your mind why did you stick on to this decision of investing in learning?
So Divya, For me, when I was attending these training programs, I was seeing hope. That hope was somewhere lost over those first 7-8 years.
Yeah, 12 to
right?
14, yeah.
I remember in 2013 when we were just confronting our debts out of December 2012. We had a training requirement that came from a corporate client. They said, our budget is 10,000 rupees per day. The training is in a place called Kalwa, which is another district outside of Mumbai. And they said, we are going to pay 10,000 rupees a day for the trainer, take it or leave it. And this 10,000 rupees includes your travel and stay. So whether you're coming from Mumbai or you're coming from Bangalore, it does not matter to us. And we kind of pleaded them, see, 10,000 rupees for a trainer, one-bedroom home. Obviously, I will not want them to treat me and say, chalo, sleep in the room. Slept on the floor, no big deal. And for those 4 days, there was one experience that shook me every single day. I had to wake up at 5 in the morning, walk from Ratan Nagar in their house to the Borivali bus stop. From Borivali bus stop, take a 1 hour bus to Thane. From Thane railway station, take a local train to Airoli. From Airoli, get down and walk to the factory because I didn't want to spend money on auto because every rupee mattered. No breakfast, didn't want to trouble them because I used to wake up at 5 in the morning. Walk in with a wet shirt, carry a spare shirt, go to the washroom, change up. Then at 9 o'clock, look prim and proper, ready to train. Have lunch in their cafeteria because it was free. No breakfast. Have lunch because it was free in their cafeteria. And eat like a hog because you know that's your one meal for the day. Finish the training at 6. Follow the same process of walking back to the Airoli station, take a train to Thane, take the bus to Borivali and walk back to Ratan Nagar. And so for me that experience, there are millions of people who do that in Mumbai. It's not a big deal. But for me, what was not acceptable was for the value of work we were doing, for the impact we were having, the reward was not in proportion. And that troubled me. It frustrated me. So that was one incident that kind of stuck in my head saying, like, we make a difference. We get 9 out of 10 feedback. People come and say, you changed my life. But at the end of the day, what's happening to our own life? That became a question mark. And then another incident happened in 2014 itself, where we did a demo training program for a very large, reputed company. The deal was you do a demo training, you get great feedback, we give you the annual training calendar. So we went and did a demo training. We got amazing feedback from the participants. While discussing the annual training calendar, the Vice President HR looks at me and says, look, the project size is about 35 lakh rupees. What will I get? When I looked at that, I was in shock. He's like, what will I get? And I'm telling you, people say that politicians are corrupt. I'm like, you haven't done corporate sales, my friend. You have no idea about what happens there. And that experience again didn't make me feel good about us. Like, it's not ego, but when you know you are good at what you do, you don't want to extend your arms forward and beg for business. And all of these experiences made me so sick and tired of the life we were living as entrepreneurs that when on 24th October we came out of that training and there was a coaching program offered, I told Karan, this is what we need. We need to learn how to market ourselves. We need to learn how to tell our story in a better manner. And if we have to invest that money, let's do it. And he had logical, rational reasons to it. There were no two ways about it. But when I came back home, I got out from his car, I walked inside the house. Bhakti was sitting and she's like, how was the training? I said, don't ask me, I'm pissed off. She's like, what happened? And I told her that there's this coaching offer, there's this opportunity, I think we need this knowledge. I'm thinking, I know what Karan is saying is right, but I don't know what to do. So in front of him, I was showing strength, but I myself was uncertain. And when I told Bhakti I don't know what to do, very effortlessly she looked at me and said, do it. You need it. Please do it.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, it makes sense.
Wow.
If you need it, just do it.
Wow.
So that strength from her combined with all these experiences of being sick and tired of being sick and tired, I think all of this coming together made me so stuck up that night in Barista. I know if both of them would have walked out that day out of that conversation thinking Rajiv is such a pain, I would have empathized with them because I was rigid as hell. I was fighting with them. But I think these were the reasons why that thing was there, that no matter what, we need to invest, learn and grow.
I don't know how many of you agree with me. I have witnessed this journey, like I said, I've seen how it's been. But as they say this, I think my respect obviously grows, but how many of you feel it? Do you feel it? And I think whenever I've spoken to the three of them, there's something that I have understood about the three of them, that even today, no matter where they've reached, if they have to still sleep like that, the way you slept there, Rajiv, you can still be as flexible, and all the three of you can go back there. That's the beauty. So I think it's not about making so much of money, traveling. It's about, like you said, this being flexible. It's so beautiful, and I think all of us, you feel it, then just write feel in the comment box. Guys, just write feel in the comment box. And I have a few more comments. I'm just going to say a quick hi to Sumit, Govind, Shashi, Arun. Thank you guys for logging in. Thank you so much for showing in your love and support. And as I said that, let me tell you that every time someone walks into this office, which by the way is very, very beautiful, congratulations on that, they see the designations of each one of you on your cabin door. Okay, the designations go like this. Rajiv, you're called as the Chief Expressions Officer. Karan, Pranav, you're called as the Chief Manifestations Officer, and Karan is called as the Chief Transformation Officer. And there is one that I noticed which is called as the Chief Vision Officer. And I must say that I have not just heard but seen that there are two different companies, Dreamcraft Events and Entertainment, and then the QL. But it looks like the four of you are a unit. Yeah, so I think it's time for me to call on the lady of courage and strength. May you all please help me welcome Bhakti Sanghvi. Hi, Bhakti. So, Bhakti, you know what? I think you have seen Quantum Leap since its inception, right?
Yeah.
What does this journey mean to you?
So I think this journey is very, very special for me, not because Rajiv is my husband and Karan, Pranav are more than family, but I've literally seen them grow through this journey. Like I have seen them work with innocence. I have seen them make ambitious goals, ambitious plans, be naive. I've seen them make mistakes, and today, seeing them grow as people who can go to any extent to make a difference. I have goosebumps. To make a difference and really, impact people's life. I think that seeing that evolution, seeing that journey is very, very inspiring and fulfilling for me.
Wow. I also want to check with you this one, okay? What did you see in the three of them? What did you see that would work probably, that you pushed Rajiv, saying, go, it's okay, invest in the learning?
So I think for me, Rajiv is the dreamer. He's always had this fire of impacting people. For me, Karan is someone who does whatever it takes to get things done. For me, Pranav is amazing at building relationships, and he plays bridge to actually build the right partnership. So when I looked at the three of them, I was like, wow, this is such an amazing trio, such an amazing three of them doing some, each one of them had their own strengths, doing some fantastic work. So when I looked at them, I was like, yeah, this is an amazing trio. And even when the challenges happened between 2012 and 2014, I really saw them stuck by each other like rock. Like they stood by each other. The kind of challenges they faced it together. Like they faced everything together.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't think I even flinched a second when the decision of investing in learning came, because I somewhere knew it, and I think I trusted that the platform. Sometimes you see that these people are doing so good. They are such great human beings, such great people with such a fabulous heart, but they really need that platform, to really go out there and shine. And I really trusted that this was the right platform that the three of them needed to go out there, rise and shine and show their true potential.
I think, that way, you also mentioned somewhere, Karan, that when that investing in training was happening, you spoke to Payal, right? And she told that there is something about this. Don't you all feel that your better half saw this so magic? If not, it would, just break it anywhere.
I think that phase for me, I truly say this when I mean it when I say it, that I think women are more sensible than men. They're more stronger, they're more courageous, they're more balanced in their thought process. And Bhakti, Navya, Payal, all three of them, that they've always brought that
Yeah.
to the table
Yeah.
for us.
So you speak on behalf of Navya and Payal as well, as to you saw the magic. You knew there's so much of potential right here.
100%. And whenever you see the six of us, you will never see six. You will see one.
Wow.
So,
wow.
yeah.
So do you think it was the energy of Sidra that got you to this kind of confidence and you said, yes, 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 we should do that? Because there's suddenly this energy shift that happened in you to push Rajiv.
Of course, I think Sidra, like Rajiv said, has played a very, very important role in our lives. And like even Karan mentioned, not like we had the confidence, not like we had the courage, but I think it's that unseen force and energy that really brought us together to even when someone's pushing you, the other one is listening, saying, okay, maybe you're right, let's just go for it.
Yeah, that's magic, right? Karan, do you want to tell me something about Bhakti's support?
So I mean, there's no doubt about the kind of support she brings on the table, but let me be very specific. It's like how you mentioned, right? Two businesses, but it's one unit. I think the other complementary flavor to the three of us, if there's someone which brings on the table, it's her. We've always operated as two businesses, but as one team for both the businesses. It's like Dreamcraft is Quantum Leap and Quantum Leap is Dreamcraft.
Yeah.
That's basically how
I
it
also
is.
know you do the accounts for the Dreamcraft events and entertainment, yeah?
Yeah. I'm the official CFO
He
for both the
makes
organizations.
all the decisions.
Pranav, what do you have to say about Bhakti's support?
Yeah, I think it's the four of us are like one core team. We have a lot of discussions together, and the discussions are not about, okay, this is for Quantum Leap, this is for Dreamcraft. So the four of us act like one core team. There's a lot of brainstorming, a lot of decisions that we make together. And like Karan was saying, she brings a lot of value to the decision-making process that the three men here take up, right? I mean,
So I think for you,
that's-
what was important is the space, the permission, the respect, the trust.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
again coming in, apart from Karan and Arti, coming from Bhakti as well.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
that's where the magic
yeah,
happens, right?
Very high regard for who she is.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
And gentlemen, if you may please allow the lovely, beautiful. I'm not even asking you, because if I ask you, the whole the whole slot will go. He can keep talking about Bhakti, like all of us know. So we're not even asking that.
I'll produce a movie someday.
For those of you who don't know, let me tell you that there is a Bollywood Keeda in Rajiv, okay? And I think this laughter, let me tell you a little surprise. When they went on a trip to New Zealand, they saw his Bollywood style. All of you know how much on the day one, what he went about doing. And a little later, so right now we won't ask you about it, but thank you so much, Bhakti, for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. And as we say goodbye to you, I want to tell you guys, okay, so Sidra Jafri had a very deep impact. That's what I can sense as you guys are talking. So she took you through this evolution as a person, as a soul. Yeah? So we're talking about mentors. So I have a very special mentor. The man who the world knows as the master of masters, Blair Singer, founder and master trainer of Blair Singer Training Academy. Here is a video.
14 years is no joke. 14 years is no joke. Congratulations, Rajiv. Congratulations, Karan and Pranav. You guys are amazing. Thank you for being great students. Thank you for being great leaders. Thank you for being great entrepreneurs that help so many people. In a world that's crazy, in a world that's chaotic, in a world where people don't know who to believe, you guys are the real deal. And it's an honor for me to say that I had maybe a little part in what you guys are doing, but just want to say congratulations. And to anyone that approaches you or knows you will know immediately that you guys are the real thing. What I mean by real thing, with heart, with spirit, with the mindset, and obviously with the technology to make things happen in a business. So thanks, you guys. You guys are amazing. You're an inspiration to me always. When I think about doing things the right way, when I want to do them meticulous, I want to have the right technique and the right structure, you are the go-to guys. You are the best of the best. So best of luck. Today, India. Tomorrow, the world. Be amazing.
Wow. Coming from him. Yeah.
Makes us blush.
I know, I can see that. All the three of you actually. Can you both look at each other and I want to see the blush changes? Yeah, see, it changes. It's chemistry. So what impact did Blair have over all of you on the journey? I'll start, Karan.
He made a statement saying that whatever little impact he's made, he's lying. He's made such a huge impact on us.
Massive.
I mean, I'll tell you, for me personally, he taught me that teaching is a responsibility and not a show. You're not standing on stage just to show off. You're not standing on stage just to create an image. It's a responsibility. And I think for me, he developed that core principle, that foundational mindset of what does it really take to cause impact, to transform people. And that, when you take away every single day when I wake up in the morning, not just when I'm on stage, when I'm working with clients, when I'm working with my team, his most famous quote, teachers are leaders. I walk with that because I know the position I hold, I know the responsibility I carry, and that is my reminder every single day. So he's redefined my personality, let me put it that way.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
huge.
That's huge. And he actually showed you this phase that it's, as a trainer, it's not about the big stage, all of it that we see.
Never is.
But it's a lot more. It's like the responsibility is huger than what we see. Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks, Karan. Rajiv?
I think Blair, right on the first time that I interacted with him, he made a statement where he said, it's who you are that creates an impact and not what you teach. And he comes from that space, that space of authenticity, that space of care, who he is as a person. Like the moment I saw him in June 2015, I was like, I want to be like him. I want to be a person who walks the talk. I want to be a person who cares to give. So that who you are, that level of authenticity, for me, that comes from Blair. And the other thing that he once told me was, he's like, you're as good as the results your participants produce. It's not about how good you feel on stage or how good you feel after a coaching conversation. Your worth as a teacher is as good as the results your participants produce. So that hunger to add value, to create that success. Sometimes while we work with entrepreneurs, they are not that committed to take action. But we keep pushing
Yeah.
because it's teachings from the master. It's teachings from Blair. So for me, I think Blair is one of those teachers who is a hidden gem, and the planet needs to know who this man is and what his vision for teachers is.
Wow.
He's just all heart.
Wow.
I mean, I can say this safely that in this journey of Quantum Leap, Sidra, Blair have played such an instrumental role in those most challenging phases of our life. They won't even know about it, but we know what they mean to us.
Wow. And I think Karan said that, he showed you what a trainer responsibility is, and what your takeaway was, it's the inner world that reflects, right? So it's very important. It's you more than the teaching right there. So far I think you've had such amazing mentors and teachers, Sidra, Blair. But now, I also want to say this, at the end of every program of yours, you put up a slide where you thank your teachers and your mentors, okay? Let me tell you, not a lot of trainers do this because they just come from this very insecure space, should I say, or whether it's not supposedly to be shared or thanked, that I don't know, whatever it is. But I think that's beautiful. At the end of every program of yours, you put up a slide thanking your teachers, thanking your mentors. I think that speaks volumes. It could just be a slide, but speaks volume.
I'd like to add to that.
Yeah.
And I think that comes from the fact that every time we are doing this work of people development, we know that we are just taking the vision of our teachers forward. It's not our vision.
And also, I don't think you also believe this. You wouldn't have taken it to the next level if not them.
We are students before teachers. We truly believe that, and we love, when Blair was talking, I was looking at the three of us, and we were like babies looking at that video. Because that's who he is to us.
Wow.
He's like,
and that's magical if he's saying that, right, to the three of you. It's so beautiful.